Welcome to week 5, also the beginning of Gatsby, my favorite unit ever created on the planet Earth, my favorite book ever written on the planet Earth, my favorite thing to teach. You're gonna love it. It's about a lot of rich people partying in the 1920s. They have big mansions, they got fancy clothes, they got fancy people, and a lot of tea to spill. It's great. It's stunning. It's fabulous. There are so many words I could use to describe this. So without further ado, this is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now it's set in the 1920s. We are in the roaring 20s. New York City, Long Island. Things are very glamorous and flashy, and people are flashing their money about. Couple of main characters. Jay Gatsby, of course. He is the Great Gatsby. He is one of the main characters. He is a self-made man, meaning he was not born rich. He made himself rich, so he's very newly rich. He lives next door to Nick Carraway, who is our narrator. Everything that we read is from the point of view of Nick Carraway, and he's kind of a fly on the wall. He's a very quiet character, but he gets all the drama because he's so quiet. Now, Jay Gatsby has an ex-girlfriend, Daisy Buchanan, and he is still in love with her, and that's going to play a vital role. Now, Nick Carraway, he is our narrator. He is also Gatsby's neighbor. Now, because he's Gatsby's neighbor, he sees all the going on at Gatsby's house. Gatsby throws giant parties. And I don't mean just like little get-togethers. No. The whole city comes to his parties. And they don't pay. It has an open bar, free food, and they stay as long as they want. And it's huge. It's gigantic. They're enormous. To put it in perspective, think Project X, but more refined and with richer, fancier people. Now, Nick Carraway, Gatsby's neighbor, is also Daisy's cousin. So remember, Daisy is the girl that Gatsby is still in love with. And that's his ex. Also, Nick is Midwestern, so he is not originally from New York. He is newly going to New York. So you have to understand, just like today, there's a difference in lifestyle in New York City and where we live, or the Midwest. So he is newly going to New York, and he's kind of a fish out of water. Now we have Daisy. Daisy is Nick's cousin, Gatsby's ex. However, she is married now to Tom Buchanan. She is a rather selfish character. She is very materialistic and spoiled. She is also very, very rich. But she is not self-made rich. She is, her family has money rich. So she didn't have to work hard to get her money. Now, Tom Buchanan, he is married to Daisy. Also, he is born rich. His family's rich. He was a classmate of Nick's at Yale. So Nick and Tom, they went to Yale and they were in class together. Now, Nick is not rich. He's well off. His family's well off, but he is not rich. Daisy and Tom are what people would call old money, meaning that they did not have to work hard for their money. They are born into money. And these people are usually a little more refined and think that the new money people are too flashy with their money. Now, Tom is also a power-hungry racist. You have to remember, we're in the 1920s, and while we are in New York, where things are a little less strict in terms of Jim Crowism and segregation, there are still people like Tom who are racist. Now, Tom Buchanan, though he is married to Daisy, he is having an affair very openly, everybody knows about it, to someone named Myrtle Wilson. Now, Myrtle is having an affair with Tom. However, she is married to George Wilson, who owns a garage. So Myrtle is not rich. Her husband's very blue collar. He owns a garage. Now, Myrtle wants to marry Tom, which is a problem because Tom's already married. So we already have this little love triangle going on. Then enters Jordan Baker. Now, Jordan Baker, she's a female. She is a professional golfer. So she's a female athlete in the 20s, which is kind of a big deal. She is Daisy's bestie. And she is also from Old Money. She kind of has like a little summer romance with Nick in this story. It doesn't really go very far, and they don't really do a whole lot, but it's kind of a little fling. Now, the setting, 1922, New York City, Long Island. There are two places, West Egg versus East Egg. You need to know West Egg and East Egg, and I'm about to explain what they are and the difference here in a second. But they are vitally, vitally important that you know that you can distinguish between West Egg and East Egg. So, West Egg is new money. You can remember this because W and N, they are consonants. East Egg is old money. You can remember this because they are both vowels. West Egg, and you can kind of see on the map, there are two little protrusions into the Long Island Sound that are off of Long Island. So they would have to like cross over to get into actual New York City. And think of them like little neighborhoods. So East Egg is where all the old money people live. These are the people who were born rich. They're very refined, very nose stuck in the air, prestigious people, can't be bothered with big flashy parties, would never be caught dead, drunk in public, etc. That's East Egg. Across from East Egg is West Egg, and they are new money. These are the people who are newly rich, who flash their money about and dress in bright clothes and all the flapper outfits, and they have the big flashy parties, and they're not afraid to show their money. Now, you can kind of tell here there's water in between East Egg and West Egg. So like if you're standing on West Egg, you can look across and see what's happening on East Egg and vice versa. And that's going to become important later. All right, we are in the Jazz Age. So let's remember, Prohibition is in effect, although that doesn't really stop a whole lot of people. We have dances such as the Charleston, unique slang going on. The economy is booming. They rebelled against social norms of the early 1900s. Ladies showed their ankles and their legs, gasp. There were flappers, and a lot of times they delayed marriage. So from the early 1900s, you have people immediately getting married. Now people are waiting, and females are becoming a little more self-sufficient. There was a lot of drinking and a lot of smoking, and it was a very carefree lifestyle. Okay, within Gatsby, we have some themes that are prevalent. The main theme in Gatsby is the American dream. Now, in the last presentation, I talked to you about the American dream, and a lot of authors wrote about whether it existed or did not exist. I'm not going to give that away yet, whether this author believes in the American dream or not. Just know that this book is a statement about the American dream, about the ability to come from anywhere in the world and achieve the American dream. We also have the question of, what is the American dream? Is it getting rich, or is there some underlying effect that represents the American dream? So that's something I want you to think about. What does the American dream mean? Is it just being rich, or is it some other success that others might find outside of money? So here are a couple of American dreamers, if you will. We have J-Lo, Eminem, Barack Obama, Stephen King, Oprah, Bill Gates, Kelly Clarkson, all American dreamers. They weren't born into money or success. They worked for it and they became successful. Now, the difference in old money and new money. Remember, old money is East Egg, new money is West Egg. The vowels go together, the consonants go together. Old money, money from family wealth. They usually don't work. They're very reserved and refined, and they are the most respected above all in the 1920s. They are the very posh people who are pretty stuck up with their money. The new money people, they're not born with money, so they work very hard, and they like to show off. They like to wear the nice things and wear the designer clothes and all that jazz. They are not as respected in the 1920s because they are wild. They spend their money freely and they show it off freely. So they are not as respected as the old money people. So think today. We have Lindsay Lohan versus Paris Hilton. They both have drug problems. They both have drunk driving arrests, both sex scandals. They both made bad movies. And they both had held singing careers. But there is one of them that still gets endorsement deals and has maintained like an acceptable elite social circle, and that's Paris Hilton, because her family is old money. She has the Hilton name. And that is The Great Gatsby. I'm so excited to read this with you guys. I will be posting a video later this week going through chapters 1 and 2, so I'll kind of talk through some key points so I know that we're all on the same page and we kind of know what's going on. And I'm super excited. We will watch the movie via Zoom when we finish the book. I have it on Amazon so that you don't have to buy it. I can just share my screen with you while we watch the Leonardo DiCaprio version. It's a masterpiece. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I can't wait to talk with you guys about Gatsby.